Ian Panel starts us off from Kyiv. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. A lot of fast-moving developments overnight and this morning. The head of Ukraine's armed forces announcing in the last few hours, today Ukraine needs everything. All procedures for joining are simplified. All you need is a passport or an ID. And, quotes, there are no age restrictions. I have to say today the city is more on edge than ever before. We've seen firefights breaking out inside the city, and there are reports that the police and the military are just handing out weapons to civilians. And I have to say the city is now braced for what looks like the battle for Kyiv. Overnight, Russian forces closing in on Kyiv, explosions rocking the capital city. Images like this one circulating on social media. This morning, Ukrainian military police in full combat gear joining the fight to defend the city. The emergency services called into action after shelling overnight. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy in another urgent address to his country, saying saboteurs have already entered the capital and that Russia's named him target number 1, his family target number 2. They're now in hiding. Just 60 miles north of Kyiv, after fierce fighting, Russian forces reportedly now in control of Chernobyl, the destroyed nuclear power plant. From our position in Kyiv, we could see fighter jets overhead, with the city triggering its emergency air raid alarm. And just 20 miles away, Russian special forces in helicopters landing at a military base, which has been the scene of intense firefights. Videos posted on social media from inside Ukraine show these attacks unfolding as the Ukrainians mount a stiff defense. But the Russian onslaught is widespread, with missile strikes in the west, Ukrainian air bases aflame in the east, and fighter jets dropping bombs in the south, and clashes in the southern city of Sumy. The fighting on the ground has been intense. The Ukrainian president saying 137 Ukrainians have died. Ukrainian forces have been doing all they can to repel the more powerful Russian troops. But so far, sources telling ABC that not all of those 150,000 Russian troops on Ukraine's borders have crossed into the country. Russian state media showing these troops in the east. The Ukrainian military is now in the fight of its life. President Zelenskyy has now ordered a general mobilization, calling up men of fighting age and reservists. In the initial assault, Russia launching over 160 ballistic missiles at Ukrainian military targets. Some civilian areas were reportedly struck. The risk to civilians caught in the crossfire is extreme, with ordnance being fired almost at will by both sides. Those living in Ukraine now forced to deal with the reality of war unfolding around them. As bombs strike nearby, people are forced underground, turning subways into makeshift bomb shelters. And as Russian troops close in on the capital, thousands fleeing the city for safety, causing gridlock on major highways. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov saying this morning that they're ready for negotiations, but after Ukrainian troops surrender. And of course, right now, there is no sign of that. And I have to say, George, we're now entering the most dangerous hours so far in this war.
It is so clear, Ian. Hope you stay safe as well. Let's bring in our military analyst, Stephen Ganyard. So, Stephen, the Ukrainians say they're not going to surrender, but they clearly appear to be overmatched militarily.
Yeah, George, this is a very tense time because Zelensky's obviously going to come under pressure as these troops rush into the city. It's clear that the Russians are not intending to hold territory. They're moving very quickly. They're on tracked and wheeled vehicles. They're fighting where they have to. But right now it appears the Russians are racing to get to the leadership of the Ukrainian government. Pressure them. I think we're going to see disinformation throughout the day where the Russians are going to claim that the government is fleeing and that they're going to put in a puppet government. But this is the time where the capitulation is pressure is highest, and Zelenskyy is going to be the target indeed, as Ian noted.
Target, I mean, he has to worry for his personal safety, doesn't he?
He does, but he needs to be worried about the future of Ukraine here because he needs something to negotiate with the Russians. They've made clear you surrender the whole army and then we'll talk. And that's those aren't terms that anyone can be pleased with.
No, they aren't. Okay, Stephen Ganyard, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.